You rockin' with Valencia King, you know what you do. Real talk, real sports, and got them real in the views. Real talk, sports. Turn up, real talk.
I'm excited for him. Accolades aside, I think his mentality is more on the winning front. I think he's of the mindset that if he puts in the right work and we win as a team, then all of that kind of stuff just will come or not, and he'll be happy, I'm sure. But his focus is on winning. I think that's what makes him such a good teammate, is because he's showing up to compete, and that's the biggest thing. I know it really hurt him to lose in the bubble last year in the playoffs, and to kind of see that look in his eyes, the fire that he wants to compete and go further, is what's most exciting for me. So I think, as far as specifics on what would need to happen stat-wise or whatever you may be asking in terms of getting that award, I don't think that's really on the radar. I think he's trying to win as many games as possible and then let the chips fall where they may in terms of those kind of individual accolades.
I'm very excited. I think every move is to put us in a position to be successful. I'm very excited with the group of guys that we have. It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, the West is very competitive, like you said. Now we're just going to have to be the better team in the fourth quarter moving forward. We're obviously a great team, but we need definitely need to close out some games this year when it comes to the fourth. And so I think that with our experience now and going through that, what we did last year, it should be a great adjustment for us and should be a fun adjustment.
First question, yes, full go, ready to get to work. Obviously, we haven't been playing, but hopefully that game shape will come quicker than in years past, now that we've really been putting in some work here in this offseason and on an individual basis, so hopefully that will come back quick. But yeah, full go. But in terms of the second question, yeah, defensive-minded is what we have to be. I think we've proven that we can score. We've proven that we have a lot of offensive firepower, and we're bringing in some more offensive firepower as well. They're not just, bruisers or whatever you want to call it. These guys are skilled players that are coming in to contribute on both ends of the floor. But yeah, we definitely have to continue to improve that side of the game, and I think that focus is going to be huge in camp. It's going to be huge for the whole season, because as we've seen in the playoffs, it really comes down to how you can stop people to give yourself the opportunity to really take advantage of your offensive skills. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a huge focus.
Shoulders 100%. I'm ready to go. Plain and simple. Watching that in the bubble was fun, watching those guys compete and play. But I definitely would not recommend that for anybody. Any player who's a part of a team, to be that far away from your team and not be able to contribute, not even from a vocal standpoint. Even if I was there in the bubble, I would have, not playing, definitely would have been fun and definitely would have been able to enjoy a little bit more, especially my team. But watching those guys, no, it was hard. I wanted to be out there every time. But I think just watching that and going through what I went through is just, I never did before, but now I definitely won't take this game for granted. And it's something that I've always kept in the back of my mind, and something that just will always stick with me. Never take this for granted.
The biggest thing I noticed watching and not playing is how much I missed playing. I think it's something you try your hardest not to, but you tend to take for granted, that ability to just be out there with your guys and compete with your guys. So I definitely saw stuff in him that I may not have noticed, some of the small nuances, but also things in all of our guys that I'm really looking forward to, highlighting and taking advantage of this coming season, in terms of helping them get in better positions to do what they do and take advantage of their skills. But also, I know guys have been really working in this, even though this kind of strange off season, but just a little that I've been able to see so far, guys have been really working. So definitely looking forward to getting back in there with the guys.
It definitely is not a great feeling. It's not just with me. I think it's with everybody. I think everyone knows what we're capable of. We have the talent to be one of the best teams in the league. We have a group of guys who've been in situations over the career where they've had to close out games. And so we have guys who are able to do it. And I just think it just comes from a point where we got to come together and know what we've been through last year, it can't happen this year. Or it can't happen as often as it did. And it's going to happen here and then, but we got the team to limit our mistakes and limit the things that we can control. And we can control our fourth quarter leads. We can control everything like that. So we gotta be a team that holds each other accountable.
Yeah, so the bubble really gave me a chance to be hyper focused and hyper diligent on the rehab, and I think regardless of the circumstance, that was my plan going in. But just the nature of the structure of the bubble and every day how rigid our kind of schedule was, I was really able to focus in and listen closely to my body and relearn some of those movement patterns and relearn how to kind of trust this new physical structure that's in my body. So getting able to gradually step into the different stages of the rehab with no noise was really helpful for me, and obviously having the team there every single day and being around them every single day emotionally was good for me, because it felt like I was a part and I was able to contribute at least in some way, even though it may not have been on the box score. I was able to be around the guys, which really kept my spirits high and it kept my motivation high to want to fight to get back as quickly as possible. But I hit a bunch of benchmarks throughout the time in the bubble. I mean, from things as simple as just the first time I dunked or the first time I ran backwards or something like that. There was a bunch of those that was really cool to be able to do around the guys, and I was glad I was able to be there.
I think we complement each other pretty well. Watching what Trey did was pretty inspiring. It was, he balled out, especially that first game. That was pretty amazing to watch. I just think we can definitely complement each other pretty well. We're playmakers, at the same time we can score. We can lead, we can run the team. I just don't think there's going to be a problem with us playing on the floor together. I think it's going to be very fun, and I think it's going to be interesting the way Coach puts us in the position to be successful. It's competition. It's the whole NBA. If you think about it, you're always competing against something. You're always competing against yourself. Every year there's 60 guys that get drafted. So there's 60 guys that are coming in for your spot. And so no matter what the situation is, no matter what, you got to be competing against yourself. And obviously you compete against others, but most importantly, you got to keep your mindset. For me, I got to keep my mindset the same. Compete, be the best person I can be the best teammate I can be. Whether it's playing or not, I'm going to be the best teammate I can be possible. But I'm going to make sure that there's no confusion. I'm working my butt off every time I'm on the court. I'm working my butt off anytime I'm in practice. I'm doing whatever I can to make this team successful.
I think the things we were able to accomplish in the bubble were great. I think across the board, players, staff, coaches used our voices and used that platform to bring about some change and also to start some serious conversations that we're gonna have to continue to work on going through this next season and the future for really the rest of our careers and our lives. It's going to be a fight that has to continue, and I think we've done a great job of kind of setting the stage and setting the example and starting that fight.